So let's give a scenario. Let's say that at a job that when you got hired, you made $500 a week. And after 6 months of working at this place, you make $605 a week. Okay, so again, this is the scenario. When you get hired, you make $500 a week. And after working there for 6 months, you make $605 a week. So my first question is this. Was this an increase or was it a decrease? Increase. We're making more money, aren't we? We're going from making $500 to making $605. So that is an increase. All right? Once we have found that, the next step that you need to do is you need to find the difference in these two numbers. How do we find a difference? That's a key word in math. Subtract. All right, so find the difference. Now, I don't want you to end up with any negative numbers. So when we find the difference, let's take the big number minus the small number. Sometimes you can do it in your head, sometimes you can use your calculator, but you always have your calculator there. So what is the difference here? $105. So your salary increased $105 over that 6 months. But again, we want to find the percent that it increased. So to find the percent, we're going to take the difference, okay, that we just found, and we are going to divide that difference by the original amount. So write those steps down. So you found the difference, and then we're going to take the difference divided by the original amount. Sometimes that's the big number, sometimes that's the small number. It just depends on the problem. So our difference in this problem was 105. And we're going to divide that by the original amount. That's the starting pay, which was $500, the starting amount, the original amount. We started off at 500, we went to 605. So the starting amount, the original amount was 500. So you definitely want to use your calculator for this. So 105 divided by 500. What does your calculator say? 0.21. And again, we want a percent. We want a percent of increase. So that gives us the decimal form. So the last thing that we want to do is we want to turn this decimal into a percent. So I'm going to say convert decimal to percent. How do you change a decimal to percent? Is it always 2 places? Yes. Move the decimal 2 places to the right. So that's going to be 21%. So your salary increased by 21%. If it went from $500 to $605, it increased 21%. Now in this one, I'm not going to give out a big long story, okay? I'm just going to say the original is going to be $250, and the new amount is going to be $70. So the first thing that I want to ask you is this an increase or a decrease? Decrease. So let's say that first, because we're going from 250 to 70. That's a large decrease, going down. Now we're going to use those 3 steps that we just hopefully wrote. What was my first step? Find the difference. So I'm going to take my bigger number minus my smaller number, and I'm going to use my calculator. 80 or 180? Okay, 180 is the difference. What is my second step? The difference of 180 divided by the original amount, which is, the original is 250. So carefully put that in your calculator. Does it matter what order you put this in? Yes. Whenever you're subtracting or dividing, order matters. So if you put in 250 divided by 180, you're not going to get a right answer. So 180 divided by 250 is 0.72. And the last step is to do what? Convert the decimal to a percent. We're going to move the decimal 2 places. So 72%. This was a 72% decrease. So you can see that the last problem was an increase. This problem was a decrease, but we solved it the same way, didn't we? So it doesn't matter if it's an increase or a decrease. You can decide if it's increase or decrease just based on looking at the problem itself without doing any other math. Okay? Good, I'm glad you think it's easy. All right, how about you try one on your own then? Ready? So if the original amount is 460 and the new amount is 414. So I want you to tell me if it's an increase or decrease, not out loud, on your paper. And then I want you to find the percent that it increased or the percent that it decreased. So you try it on your own. All right, let's see how you did on this problem. So the first thing that I noticed is that if I go from 460 to 414, that is a decrease. So if you said decrease, that's good, you got 1 point. Now let's see if you can figure out the percent that it decreased. So the first thing you should have done is you should have subtracted 460 minus 414. And you should have gotten 46. So just like kind of how we do on DMR, if you got 46, good job. You got step 1 right. Next thing you should have done is taken that difference of 46, and you should have divided it by the original amount. So the original was 460. So when you do 46 divided by 460, you should have ended up with 0.1. So if you got that, give yourself a star. You got second step right. And then lastly is changing 0.1 to a percent. And remember, we have to move the decimal 2 places. So don't just move it 1 place because you only have 1 digit. Move it 2 places. That means we're going to fill that empty spot with a 0. And this is going to become 10%. This was a 10% decrease. All right, let's take questions about these steps if you didn't get it. Anyone have any questions? They got it wrong and they're confused about what I did up here. How do you feel with this then? Oh, good? So-so? Not good. So-so is this. So-so is I want more practice. Okay. I'm going to do one more because I have a couple so-sos. So you people that are goods, you could help out the so-sos. So again, you're always going to be given the original and the new amount. I don't want to just make one up, so let me look real quick. How about we do 50 to 92. Maybe you go to the doctor, and the first time you go to the doctor, you weigh 50 pounds, and the second time you go to the doctor, you weigh 92 pounds. Gained a lot of weight, right? So how big a change was that? So you work on that. The difference. So the difference is going to be 92 minus 50, which is 42. So if you got 42, then you got the first step right. You found the difference. This second step is taking the difference, 42, and dividing it by the original amount. It's always divided by the original amount, the starting amount, which was 50. And when you do 42 divided by 50, you get 0.84. So did you get 0.84? If so, you got second step right. And then your last step is to take that decimal and convert it to a percent by moving the decimal 2 places. So it's going to be 84%. So that was an 84% increase. How many got that right? Good. Even my so-sos. Now, if you're someone that is still struggling, you're going to have 17 minutes now to work on these types of problems. If you're someone that's still struggling, or you just want to check to see, am I getting these right? Come see me, or compare your answers to somebody else that got all these right, okay?